design the assessment in our classes. We need to discuss this concept and how to apply this concept to our classes. So with the same groups that we have, we can create some new ideas about how to apply assessment in our classes with the same. You design a class. Design a class. And design the assessment of this class. Also combine the online assessment strategy with the engaging and motivating strategies. At the same time,
Someone else? Thank you. Someone else?
thank you. Please. Thank you.
Okay, when we design a class, we have to take into account the goals. No? We are going to focus on speaking because it's a strategy that most of us need to develop, help our students develop. No? When speaking, one important aspect in everyday life is culture, right? And we are involved. We all are involved in culture. So we propose class talking about culture in some aspects that are important, for example, ways of life, population, transport. And for this objective, we propose to use comparisons as vocabulary related to this topic. Okay. We can also talk about cities, talking about population, talking about size, etc., etc. And all this in connection with limitations of time and space. We propose a motivation question at the beginning. Have you ever been to another city? Or have you ever worked or studied on a different city? And then we propose to use comparisons in this set of activities in order to develop the topic of this class. So students can produce sentences using comparisons. Then once we developed vocabulary and some activities, we can practice what is called assessment. So you can talk about this assessment that we propose, no?
Yes.
Yes?
So this is very important because well, motivation is first, as you mentioned, important because students are engaged with the topic, with what we have as an objective that they get. So in terms of assessment, we have peer assessment using a conversation, so they can talk about the cities they know and they interact using comparisons, superlatives, and they can interact and maybe correct each other. Another kind of assessment we offer is a questionnaire, also to express comparisons, maybe using the question, guess who? Guess who, and start asking questions. And also, if it's possible, the teacher monitors, checking everything. If they are right, they are wrong, maybe in a class, typical class. Another kind of assessment is with lyrics. Try to find music songs and try to adapt to the topic that we are teaching, and and try to get, this way is very interesting for students, and they always like to learn new songs, music, etc. And maybe adapt it also to strategies in our classes, virtual classes too, it is possible too, and try to assess and reinforce. If reinforcement is very important, because we have to start with the student, continue doing the process, and at the end maybe have a report about what is all the process about assessing problems. Thank you.
Welcome, thank you. Very good. Stay here, stay here. I like this exposition because the end goal of a better assessment is a better learning system. It's okay, but I need to debate the ideas of this team. Do you agree with?
I got a question actually. Okay, that is interesting. I mean, it work is nice, but how do you monitor? I mean, how do you actually assess that activity? Because I mean, they are together, they are interacting, but you as a teacher, do you have a rubric?
Yeah,
Which is
really.
no, that is
Really, what we have to see is some aspects that they have to practice. No? First of all, we talked about them, no? So they have to be aware of this. Also, when they make this peer assessment, they can give an opinion, no? A certified opinion about if it's they are going their way or not. No? So basically, with problems.
We need another opinion.
Well, it was a class created for a typical class, but we're talking about how can we put this into an online class? Because you created this like the teacher is monitoring.
Yeah, I also mentioned at the end of my participation that especially with lyrics, no, we can adapt songs, lyrics, and try to make them to participate in the songs, maybe listening at the moment or maybe in another moment, and we offer some challenging questions or some kind of questions related to the topic. No? So when we can check maybe as homework or give them some kind of comments in the next class or on a virtual.
So this is for a blended class,
Could be a real
Yeah.
class, yeah, yes, of course.
And this methodology also could work online?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, I think so. I think we can adapt, that's what I told you in the first part, that it's very important the traditional, because we can use these tools and try to adapt with the technology. It's possible, I think. It's part of creativity.
Yeah, because there are songs that I mean they have comparisons.
Yeah.
I mean, that in the past tense or the future, yeah, for sure.
Yes,
There are
of course,
lyrics,
it's possible.
they help,
Helps.
and it's motivating for students.
Motivated, that's
Everybody
the most
likes
important,
music.
yes. If they are motivated, they are going to work.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to do this one, assessing with discussion purpose.
Okay, great.
The topic that we have chosen is travel experiences. Well, this is for a blended course. The level is intermediate and the grammar is present perfect. Yeah. And we have to please take into consideration that it's different assessment and evaluation. Well, that's my point of view, right? Because assessment is more formative and evaluation is summative, right? We have developed some rubrics, right, for assessing form. Yeah, for assessing these, we have prepared some rubrics with 5 criteria. And the first one is about says demonstration of an understanding of the topic of discussion through critical thinking. The second one is collaboration and connection with other students. The third one is proper etiquette and mechanics of writing. Then we have timeliness and participation with post-topic guides. finally, the last criteria that's correct use of grammar and vocabulary. Each one, that's 4 points each one. Well, the students will write a paragraph describing travel experiences, and they will also make comments on their classmates' participation.
What about the pre-testing, for example? You think that the pre-test
Oh, well, that's used for
before
assessment.
the process, before, what's your opinion about that?
Well, so I think that's a good idea to do, because you can check the previous knowledge of the class.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if you're going to you're doing a research, right? So you can evaluate if your experiment works or doesn't work with a pre-test and then with a post-test.
Great. You have any
Yeah,
question?
but we can also not only research, but also in class, well, before, at the beginning of the term, we have pre-test, and then also if we do pre-test, we have to do a post-test at the end, yeah, of the term.
Okay, what about, for example, surveys? Surveys? Surveys.
Yeah, right, service. We always do that in university. Well, they evaluate our
Assessment,
performance.
but I think that they are
Okay.
part of
For
assessment.
assessment.
Okay, and how do you apply this strategy online?
We use it.
With,
We
but
already
how?
use it, yeah.
How?
Because we
Use
use,
it.
yes, we
Yeah.
use.
There is a
Yeah.
form.
It's a
Oh,
Okay.
that's the form.
Okay,
It's the
now
form.
explain me.
Yeah, be more specific, I think that's what he means.
Ah,
Be
we
What is the
more
mechanic
specific,
of
yeah.
this?
Strategy.
How is the function?
Just be more specific, that's it.
Ah, okay, well, so it's a class, what do you mean? Yeah, it's a class of intermediate students.
Okay.
Yes, we taught present perfect. So then, well, after classes, they have to answer a question in a forum. No,
Okay.
students will write a paragraph about travel experiences. That can be like the final product.
Yeah,
So
the
first
final
we,
product.
yeah, we have our, after we explain everything all in class, the students participate, ask and answer questions, make peer activities, and as a final product, they participate in the forum.
Great. Do you have any question?
Everything
Is-
is.
Is
Any
it
point in
better to-
disagree?